Any U.S.-initiated war against Iran would become regional. Khamenei. Trump says India will buy oil from Venezuela, not Iran. U.S. to add 65,000 seasonal guest worker visas for 2026. Progress made on talks as U.S.-Iran tensions persist, Iranian official. UK's Starmer says ex-Prince Andrew should testify before Congress over Epstein ties. Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Sayyid Ali Khamenei, has warned that any war started by the United States against Iran would quickly expand into a broader regional conflict. Speaking to a large crowd on Saturday, Khamenei said American threats and military displays are not new and will not intimidate the Iranian people. He was responding to recent warnings from U.S. President Donald Trump. Khamenei stressed that Iran does not intend to start a war or attack another country. However, he warned that Iran would respond forcefully to any aggression. The Iranian nation will deliver a hard punch to anyone who attacks it, he said. In the same speech, Khamenei described recent unrest inside Iran as being, quote, similar to a coup. He claimed the violence targeted key institutions, including police stations, government offices, Revolutionary Guard facilities, banks, and mosques. That India will begin purchasing oil from Venezuela, moving away from previous imports from Iran and Russia. Speaking aboard Air Force One, Trump stated, "We've already made that deal, the concept of the deal," indicating a strategic realignment in India's oil sourcing. This development follows the U.S. easing sanctions on Venezuela's oil industry, allowing for increased international trade. India, which had ceased significant imports of Iranian oil due to U.S. sanctions and had become a major buyer of discounted Russian crude post-2022, is now diversifying its energy sources. The Trump administration had previously imposed tariffs to discourage India's purchases of Russian oil, doubling duties on Indian imports to 50% in August. However, with India's Russian oil imports declining, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent signaled potential tariff relief, citing a sharp reduction in these imports. The Trump administration is set to add approximately 65,000 H-2B seasonal worker visas through September 30th, according to a federal notice. The visas are intended for employers facing severe financial hardship due to a shortage of available U.S. workers. The move nearly doubles the standard annual cap of 66,000 visas and is expected to support industries such as construction, hospitality, landscaping, and seafood processing, sectors that have struggled to fill jobs. Despite a broad immigration crackdown since returning to office in 2025, President Donald Trump has acknowledged the labor challenges facing seasonal businesses. Similar visa expansions were carried out under both Trump's earlier presidency and former President Joe Biden. Business groups have long pushed for more guest worker visas, warning that labor shortages could disrupt operations. However, immigration restriction advocates argue the program may suppress wages for American workers. Iran's top national security official says preparations for possible negotiations with the United States are moving forward, even as military tensions grow in the Gulf. Ali Larijani stated that, despite what he described as an exaggerated media atmosphere, a framework for talks is taking shape. However, he did not provide specific details. U.S. President Donald Trump also suggested that Iran appears willing to negotiate rather than risk military conflict. He noted that American forces, including a large naval fleet, are being deployed to the region as a precaution. Tensions between the two countries have been escalating in recent weeks. Trump has repeatedly warned of potential military action tied to Iran's nuclear program and its response to recent anti-government protests. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer says former Royal Prince Andrew should testify before a U.S. congressional committee following new evidence about his connections to disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein. Recently released U.S. Justice Department files include emails suggesting Andrew stayed in regular contact with Epstein for more than 2 years after Epstein was convicted of child sex crimes. The documents also contain redacted images that appear to show Andrew with an unidentified woman. King Charles previously removed his brother's royal title and ordered him to leave his residence at Windsor Castle after earlier controversies tied to the Epstein case. Andrew, now known as Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, has denied any wrongdoing and has maintained that he did not continue the relationship beyond a final meeting in 2010.